In February 2011, in remote northern Australia, an innovative mobile journalism program
The Catholic nuns have always been part of our life.
gave a group of Indigenous people living in isolated communities
Every Monday to Friday.
the technology and the skills to enable them to tell mobile stories
Enjoying motorsport malam.
from their own perspective.
It'll be proud of Mum and Dad.
The program was called Mojo. The Mojo pilot program was developed because powerful new media technologies may be one way to help Indigenous communities become less marginalised. Australian government support made it all possible. All the project needed was a long-term partner to give it a home in the NT. And we found that here, an hour's drive south of Darwin.
Have a little chat.
It's been a positive response from everybody. Everybody wants to do it. Unfortunately, we only got room for 6. 3 remote service delivery communities and 3 non.
But for the project to work, the team had to find the right mojos.
Anybody can operate a camera, we know that. But what we're going to be teaching them is how to tell stories. It's not just about the technology, but the technology is so strong in this little device, which means everything we know as filmmakers we can now do on this.
We need to purchase some stuff really fast. We have to get the funds. If we don't get the funds, we can't do the project.
Fortunately, one of the Mojo tools, the iPhone 4, was just that, a readily available phone.
It's very exciting because it takes away a lot of the technology barriers, so it means that storytelling is a lot more accessible. And also, in terms of distribution, the fact that you can edit it in camera and upload it.
That's a real plus in remote communities like Ramangini.
But at the same time, we can record the voice.
Satellite communication arrived here and in other isolated NT communities in the late 80s and was followed closely by remote broadcast centres like this one. This created new job opportunities for local people.
Yo, good afternoon, Ramangini.
Mojo is a modern and more personal method of creating locally produced media content.
Editing the stuff, but this little gadget, you can do it by your hands, you know.
Xavier has been here for 3 years.
Or maybe you can go out fishing and just do the editing while you throw the line. Yeah. It's great, you know. I wouldn't want to have those things back home.
But just getting to Louis' home to find the Mojos was no easy task in the wet season. Helen and Ivo visited 9 remote communities in the Northern Territory: Warramayunga on Bathurst Island in the north, Gapawiriak and Galawinku in the east, Onarugu on Groot Island, Namulwa and Ramangini in central Arnhem Land, and Largermanu in the south. The wet season meant that flying was the only way in, except the Daly River. The local community had selected 4 possible Mojos: Jonathan, Jasmine, Desmond and Thomas. In Largermanu, a day's drive south into the Western Desert, JP turned up to hear about becoming a Mojo.
1 or 2 short stories every week.
In Numbulwar on the Gulf of Carpentaria, the team met Richard, Rudolph and Delvina. On Bathurst Island, Harry and Ron were interested in the project.
And so we'll plan that story out a little bit.
On Galawinku, it seemed like half of Elcho Island wanted to know how to become a Mojo.
I'm here to actually talk to you about a new project we call NT Mojo. What this project is about is trying to empower communities to make their own stories. We're going to show you how to make stories on the iPhone. And what's your name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Desmond.
Why do you think this is important for your community?
I think it could give a better view on our community.
Yep.
And how, how other people can see what's happening in our community.
And what the world would see is stories edited and published by the Mojos on the World Wide Web.
What's your name?
My name is Helen Brown.
So what is your name again?
Yeah, Ivo.
What's Mojo means?
Mobile journalist.
What is your name?
What's your job?
Journalist.
Is that something like news?
We teach you to make your own stories, so if the news people want some stories from here, they might come back to you and say, hey, Gerald, can you get us a story? We'll pay you for it.
And I was praying for this job. One lady tell me, we get job, multimedia job. she tell me that, "Oh, lady," and I was, thank God.
While Sabrina was getting guidance from above, Gerald saw Mojo as an opportunity to deliver messages at a local level.
Smoking ganja, drinking kava, that's no good. That's killing myself. So I want to be someone.
It's the good work to tell stories all over the world.
I'm thinking the boy that had the black shirt on because he was a leader out there when they were doing that funny little video together. And one of the two girls, both girls are great.
And I think that's a great opportunity for young people to be doing something, you know, that there is something there for them that they can learn, you know, and get something out of it. Keep them off from the mischief, the sniffing and all that sort of things that's happening here. And I'm really happy. Very, very happy to see these sort of things happening for young people.
After 4 weeks of extensive searching, the team had finally found their mojos.
Hello, we are Galawinku.
Brendan and Sabrina from Galawinku and 7 others from across the NT.
Hi, my name is JP and I'm the new Mojo in Lajamanu.
Hi, my name is Rudolph Mungo and I'm the new Numbua Mojo.
And I'm from Numbua. My name is Richard and I'm here to show you my community.
My name is Harry Mankara. I'm taking part in the NT Mojo.
Hello, my name is Ron. I'm from Tiwara, Northern Myanmar.
Hello, my name is Sharon and I'm the new Mojo in Ramgining community.
My name is Gerald Yolpui and I'm the new Mojo in Ramgining, so stay tuned.
Hello, we are Galawinku Mojos. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Back at Bachelor, Nicole was putting the final touches to the Mojo production kits.
There's quite a lot of bits and pieces to put together and equipment to try and sync up and just to make sure everyone's got what they need.
I know it's the third time I've rung, but we have a problem now.
NT Mojo was a world first,
They're giving me the wrong signal.
and the clock was definitely ticking.
Friday afternoon, Mojo's arriving as we speak.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this. It's just so exciting for us. We've got a real strong sense that this is going to be the way in which Indigenous people make stories. It may well be a complete change in direction for this little unit as well.
It's about your stories. It's about trying to change the balance in the way that stories are made from remote communities. We want to give you an opportunity to make your own stories from a very different perspective.
It's very important that we understand journalism because it tells us everything. A lot of companionship with the story telling. Mojo workshop, it's a new thing for me. It's all about to tell stories. Stories could be anything. Could be a Dreamtime story. It could be a story of football. Story about an art centre.
A bigger snake, we call it RPG.
Could be a person.
This one is part of my Dreamtime story.
Story is very important.
It's like my little child.
It's passed on from generations and generations. My grandfather always told me stories, and I tell my young ones.
I hope with each one of you, we will have worked out 2 or 3 stories. And then you'll work with your support people like Ella, people like Louis, to help develop those stories a bit more.
So with support people offering encouragement, Mojos began developing their stories.
I could see what you mean, like who?
Yeah.
That was John
Pye, but he's not around anymore, is he? No. So who are you going to get to talk about this story?
Sister Anne.
Sister Anne, good.
I'd love to talk a lot, and I could, write it down on a piece of paper and use it to, to show and tell stories again and again.
Like some of the other Mojos, Sabrina found storyboards worked best for developing her ideas.
Go back to alcohol. I asked my friends to acting.
Today.
And also I asked my grandfather for that stories
My great-grandfather said this is happening because many of our young people have lost touch with our traditional way of life.
The olden day life was the natural life. Olden day is a life of the nature. There's no drugs, no anything.
It's a fusion between the arts and football.
They get them off the sniffing and off the drugs.
The art is on show.
Where? Numbulwar in the sea.
The sportsmen are on show.
Why do they do it?
He's told him it's the turtle.
Okay.
But he can't catch it until Henry, Jungai, has to say, yes, you can go.
This was two-way learning at its best. The Mojos received journalism skills, and they gave the team a glimpse into an ancient way of life.
They are learning the right way to live at a young age.
What's the culture means? To tell outsiders in the world, tell the outsiders what is culture. Yo, that was Brian Adams, Manikaya ko nawe best of me. So when the request ko, just give me a call. Culture is very special for us. We can teach kids not to do bad things through Mojo work.
When you have to think about what you're going to put in your story, all the 5 W's, they really start to think about what they really want to say, and that means that they will have forgotten something, but because they have to do the 5 W's, there is no way out. They have to do all the thing, and then the story looks good. In the sense, oh yeah, I forgot about my uncle, he should be in that thing, and that's a who, and so on.
And you did it all yourself? With you? Well, there's our first story. Well done, mate.
In fact, during training, our 9 Mojos developed
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and I know that JP's got another 6. Yeah, good work. Thanks, mate. Thank you for all your help today.
Thank Louis for supporting us, Louis.
Really good day. I just can't wait for the next couple of days.
With initial journalism training over, it was time to get the Mojos working. To enable the Mojos to control every stage of production, Ivo developed a Mojo training package that included a production kit.
Hi, my name is Harry Mankara. I'm taking part in the NT-Mojo held at...
The kit's based around the iPhone 4 and developed to make Mojos self-sufficient in remote locations.
Yo, good day. My name is Gerald Yorkwe. I studied in the Bachelor Institute now called Mojo.
The alley is an important part of the production kit. The iPhone 4 slots into the alley. With this extra wide lens, it's much better for filming, and it also is a sturdy device that enables smooth pans and tilts. Into the Alley 4, we plug a little mini directional mic. Yeah, that can be swiveled around, and that helps the audio quality. We have a light, a rechargeable light that screws into the top of the alley.
Hi, my name is Sharon and I'm taking part in a mobile journalist workshop.
Critical to the process is the first video editing app. This enables Mojos to edit their own stories right on the phone.
Down to 35.
With help from trainers,
make the wide shot smaller than the gap,
and community support people, the team was quickly walking away and leaving the editing in their hands.
You can move it left or right, okay? Plus, video.
Small Mojo, portable, digital, touch screen is better than camera where you take out the cassette and do it in the mixer or computer. But this little gadget, you can do everything, just like that, just snapping the finger. Bang, you can do it.
Indigenous stories.
Have you got a story you want to tell?
Made by Indigenous people for a global audience.
So be proud, Yurungo.
May in the future would be, a good thing for my community.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Yeah.
And that's where trainers were headed to complete Mojo training, back to communities like Warramayunga on Bathurst Island in the Arafura Sea. Warramayunga is home to Ron and Harry, who are already hard at it, recording their first story.
I'm here standing outside one of the oldest art centres in the NT. This is what a story I'm going to tell you today. Let's take a look. Tiwi Arts and Crafts started 30 years ago. Today, it's the place where people come to see and buy our arts and crafts.
Like many of the Mojos, Harry's first story focused on culture, and specifically the role that Tiwi art plays in passing on tradition.
For these two sisters, it's all about keeping the culture strong for the young ones.
And I think it's important to teach our younger ones because so when we pass away and then their turn to carry on.
This transfer of knowledge is exactly what's happening here in Larjamanu, in the centre of Australia, where JP is recording the exchange of an ancient art form.
This is Jerry Jangala and Doi Jongare, and they are working and helping each other to make that Kulumborgo at the art centre. Kulumborgo was used in the early days and it was lost in nowadays. It's very important that our generation has to learn from our fathers and our grandfathers. Kulumborgo has its own songline, and Jerry is sharing that knowledge to the kids by singing it. Having that knowledge within you, it helps you know who you are and where you come from.
Showcasing his pride in where he comes from was Ron's aim when he chose to make My Island home.
But the tour season starts next week. So I'm your private tour guide. And I'll show you my favourite spots around the island. The Catholic nuns have always been part of our life, and this museum is one of my favourite places here. Sister Anne has been with us for 50 years. She taught my whole family.
Ronnie, you should know this man here because this is Tubal. This is your father, and he was a great, great mission worker.
All the old stories, all the new, old photos of my people makes me feel happy inside me. Makes me feel proud of my people.
In Numbulwar in East Arnhem Land, the whole community was bending over backwards to help Mojos make their stories.
Hi, my name is Richard and I'm from Numbulwar, and this is how we spend our time. We started teaching the kids to flip, and when they got older they start doing their own flips. Really wanted to do something like videoing and stuff and putting our community together and showing people how we live out here and do stuff out here. Numbulwar Night Patrol is a Shire program run by hardworking local people. I feel happy and I love it, and like I had a dream of this Mojo and stuff, doing this, yeah.
A few hundred clicks north in Remenginning, they also had a dream that became a reality, and the focus of Sharon's first Mojo story.
Every morning, Jessica and Albert are up early They come to this place and spend the day helping people. It's very busy here, but everyone loves their work. Well, the kitchen prepares 26 lunches. Elvin and Brian deliver breakfast and medicine to old people.
Just east in Galawinku, Sabrina was helping Brendan look for medicine of a different kind.
Hello.
Brendan's traditional Stop the Rain dance almost worked long enough for him to record his bush medicine story.
Today, many of our people shop here for food, for medicines off the shelf, and go to the clinic if we are very sick. But back in the old days, when we lived in the bush, things were different. My people have lived off the land for 40,000 years, and the bush is our natural pharmacy. My sister Aggie learned all about bush medicines from our parents. My little daughter Masha has a terrible cough, so Aggie was looking for this plant. But I couldn't wait to give little Masha her first bush medicine bath. Bush medicine keeping our community strong. From Galawinku, see you next time. I will do this work, Mojos, telling people stories all around the world.
But getting the stories finished and uploaded to our website
for our subtitles
meant working long into the night.
To show them how culture.
And that's what all 9 Mojos were doing day and night for 4 weeks, right across the Northern Territory. A modern technology providing a unique perspective of an ancient world.
It's more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more than that.
It's about teaching the
young children.
Okay. Who talks about them?
The ladies.
You've got control over everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that good? Going up to the website.
That's the first story for me.
And probably the first one for the Mojos.
Yeah, first one for the Mojo.
And it's a beautiful story.
And I loved it.
You did love it, didn't you?
It made me proud. Not only proud for myself, but proud for the whole community of Urumiyanga.
Good on you. I'm sure they're proud of you too.
After Harry uploaded his story, many others continued working late into the night to complete their work.
The Catholic nuns have always been part of our life, and this museum is one of my favorite places here. All this painting, they have different meanings, different stories. That's my story. Hope you like it. See you next time.
Good on you, mate.
It touches my heart. It's unbelievable. I wish my dad and mum would be alive. They'd be proud of me, but I've got Tanya, she's my wife, and she'll be proud of me. Put it on the website, and who knows, I could be famous.
Harry, you're looking straight down the barrel. He could be famous.
Yeah, I'm famous. Harry Mankara, #1 here at NT Mojo, here at Urumiyanga.
Jerry is bringing that Kulumbormo back to the community so my people can see what Kulumbormo is and use it in the future.